And what is up, guys? How's it going? It is Uncle Bob. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. We are here to continue making our way up the Silks Tower. Silks, whatever it's called. We're here at the final dungeon. Again. Hoping that this time I can actually beat this place. But there's only one way for us to find out. And first thing we gotta do is get past these cum-cums. These legendarily pain-in-the-ass monsters. Hey, look at that. Swearing within the first minute. It's a good thing. Oh. Hope everyone's doing alright today. I just woke up from sleeping myself. Now that peak season at UPS has been going on, I've been sleeping more during the middle of the day than at night. Because like today and yesterday I had to be in at 1:45 in the morning. So with, drive time and everything else, if I wanted to be asleep at the time, to get a full, well, I can't call it a full night's sleep. Who am I kidding? Because when I try to sleep, I only sleep for about 4 hours at one time. I cannot stay asleep longer than that. Which sounds rough, but luckily at this point in my life, after that being the case for 20 years, I can usually function okay. There we go. Yeah, I guess he doesn't need a cure one. That's not really that important. But yeah, no, I'd have to be going to bed at the same time as my daughter has to go to sleep if I wanted to do that, which, if I only had one kid, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But since I got my son, that means he'd have to go to bed an hour earlier. I'm not going to make my son go to bed earlier because my work schedule is packed. Yeah, I just finished. My daughter stayed home from school today because yesterday she got sent home with a slight fever. So I was not expecting that. Well, damn. I thought that would have gone a little better. But it totals enough. There we go. See, I'm just going to wait for my son to get off the bus, which he should be home in the next about 10-12 minutes. Get him off the bus, and I'll come back, finish this, and then wake my daughter up. Got plenty of cheap-ass ramen for the kids to eat. Because boy, oh boy, do the kids love their trash-tier ramen. Especially my son. My son loves it. He's the only kid I know that Like, listen, when I was a little kid, chicken was the only flavor that existed. I didn't like any of the other flavors growing up. Then I found the one that was roast beef flavored when I was like 13. And that one became my favorite. But for my kid to actively choose the beef flavor as his go-to, that's wild to me. Because growing up, I never would have chosen the beef over the chicken. My daughter likes the shrimp one, but my daughter gets nothing but the shrimp one. And of course, because my son is like 8, he loves the cups. My daughter, she's like, no vegetables, only noodles. Doo-doo-boo-doo-boo-doo. Mm-hmm. Ya-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. In less interesting news, somehow, found out one of my uncles died. I guess he would have died, what's today? He died 4 days ago. Died on Friday. That is the same day as my idol, December 13th. Needless to say, I miss my idol more than I do my uncle. My uncle and aunt have been divorced for like... They've been divorced for a good long time. They've been divorced at least... No, maybe not quite a decade. Let's use up this shit. There we go. Stacked. And we got that onion shield. It'd be funny if those items are like really and truly OP. Jesus. Yes. Petrification power. Petty power. But yeah, no, I mostly knew that uncle when I was like a little kid. Because maybe when I was around like younger child years, like, or middle-aged child years, like 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there, he took my aunt and they moved out to West Virginia. I'm not gonna lie, my uncle was kind of just a prick. Killed by damage with a really weak hit in the back row. Epic. But he was like one of the kind of guys that when one of my cousins who like now he's like a 20-year-old adult, I remember when he was like a baby, when he was real little. Actually, I don't even think I went there for this one. I think this might have been before. Um, but I remember him, I think it was my, grandma had taken, my grandma had taken a trip out there to West Virginia actually, I think they lived in Kentucky at the time. Went out to see him. And, my grandma's a nerd. I've talked about that, her nerdy tendencies are partially what got me into this hobby, playing old games and everything like that. So I think she was going to go with them to see, I think it was the second Jurassic Park movie back in the day. It was, wasn't it called The Lost World? Let me look on my actual phone here. Jurassic Park Lost World. Oh, geez, 97. Okay, maybe it was, I guess it was around that time. I remember being a little bit older when that movie came out. Shows you that I'm full of shit. Well, regardless, I remember my grandma went to go, meet them at the movies and to go hang out with all of them one day when she went to Kentucky. And my uncle was one of those guys where, like, he was a big nerdy movie buff. Like, he had, like, collections of all kinds of movie shit. And, I remember, like, they brought my cousin along to go see it. And, my aunt was settled with the kid no matter what. Kid had to go to the bathroom or needed anything, it was never my aunt who got to sit down and enjoy the movie and watch it. She was always on kid duty. Which luckily in my life, I've not been one of those guys. So I'm pretty proud of myself with a lot of small things like that, which, at least people who are going to be interested in these kind of games, most of you guys probably had parents that were largely the same way. You were out and about and you needed something, it was going to be your mom or the mom who goes and makes sure, the kid's diaper is changed and all that shit. Oops. No! Come on. Come on, arrows. Don't fail me now. And I feel pretty good that, like, when me and my girl go out with the kids, we both miss, like, 1/3 of the movie. Because, like, we'll both get to watch 1/3 of the movie together. Usually it's the beginning third of the movie. And then one of us will take our daughter out to walk around, walk in the theater and just, meander around and make some noise. Obviously, I mean, like, the bigger movie theater, not that individual theater. But yeah, we'll walk outside, we'll stroll. My woman will do the same thing. But we end up, like, missing 1/3 of the movie each, because, I'll walk around with her for, like 35 minutes or so. And my girl will do the same thing. I never turned into one of those kind of guys where, like, everything was the woman's responsibility. My whole generation, I don't know how many of the men in my family in the generation before me. I don't know if between all three of the males, which is my dad, both my uncles, my dad's older brother and his younger brother, between the three of them, I don't think, maybe piss diapers, maybe. but especially like a shitty diaper, I do not think my dad or any of my uncles between them even changed 10 shit diapers for their kids. Like, I know my dad, I think legend has it, he changed my shitty diaper once. My mom and grandma walked in, and I mean, when I say my dad, I mean my grandfather. People who've been around, they understand. I was raised by my grandparents. I even consider my grandma to be like, if I'm talking to any of my friends, and I'm like, my mom and dad, everybody knows I mean my grandparents. Because of just my mom's life story, me and her ended up being more siblings with 20 years apart from each other in age. That's kind of how we ended up. For all the better and all the worse. I think allowing my grandparents to raise me was the smart move on my mom's part. But no, I think they walked in and my grandfather was wiping my ass. And he had like a diaper, like a clean diaper, obviously, covering his face like he would be doing a COVID mask 30 years later. To just not smell the stink. And you know, I'm a little bit of a bitch, even as a parent who's been changing now shitty diapers for like my son with his developmental delay. You know, he didn't get potty trained until he was like 4 or 5, like fully, because dealing with his disabilities, you know, make shit like that a little bit harder, literally. And my daughter, like, I won't lie, I definitely have to every once in a while cover my nose. When it comes to changing a poopy diaper. I've done it. I've looked like a fucking big ass baby doing that. And as much as that ain't gonna make you feel proud, when I get to remember that plenty of the men in my family never did it at all. Alright, give me a sec though. I gotta go outside. Alright, my bad about that. I was just talking to my cousin, the one who I just said whose father passed away. So I was just talking to her for a little bit. I know him and my aunt had been split up for a really long time, so I don't even think that they were, like, close. Because he lived in West Virginia, so would any of y'all be surprised if you found out that he wasn't a fan of one of his son-in-laws? Actually, his son-in-law. Because he had black in him. So, you know, you got to remember when you grow up in the rural areas of West Virginia, when that's where you live, you know, you got to be focused on the real important shit out there. So, you know, there was a good chance that he wasn't even really in my cousin's life, wasn't in his grandkid's life, so I truly don't give that much of a fuck that he's gone. I even had to talk to my dad a little bit about it because, you know, my dad's a lot the same way as me. And I was just like, you know, I don't even care that he's dead, really. Like, in that way. Like, I don't even care that he died. I'm 34, and I haven't seen that dude in more than half of my lifetime. I think the last time I saw him, I was 15. And I'm 34 now. So, like, it's been almost 20 years since I saw the dude. You know, that's 19 years. That the age of which I haven't seen that guy, like, the age of that is now statutory. So, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I care more that, you know, my cousin has to... Both of my cousins may have to deal with, you know, the complicated emotions of having a father who passed away. You know, that's the part that I care about, really. He himself, like, the fuck do I care? Da-na-na-na-na. Oh god, that's hilarious. Just read one of my ex-girlfriends. She's the first girl that I would actually consider, like, you know, my first girlfriend. Because, you know, there were a couple of girls I quote-unquote dated in like middle school. I don't really count those. But high school, I'll count that. Like, I lost my virginity to her as a freshman in high school. We were both freshmen. So, like, we, for all intents and purposes, actually, for real, dated. The relationships before that, I wouldn't really consider myself to have been dating those girls. Like, it was middle school. It was cute, haha, but, like, it was middle school. But she was beyond clumsy. Like, notoriously clumsy. I remember my parents always used to joke around with her that she would trip over a mote of dust. Like, just anything. Trip over a ladybug. And, you know, she's got her and her husband. She has 2 kids now. And she was like, if any of y'all want to know how much exactly like me my son is, he was drawing a picture holding his pencil, and he sneezed and poked himself in the eye with the eraser head. And I read that, and it was like, you know, that's pretty on brand. When were the... I don't know. She was ridiculous when it came to her clumsiness. That shit was always a riot. Alright. Let's get through all this. Even though it's been a while, we're just gonna get through this stupid... I guess what counts as a cutscene. All the past homies getting called. Sarah, Sid, Desh, and then the young king, young prince. And my little bard friends. I was so happy when they brought out this joke for, like, the end of this game. There we go. All right. Hit him with the haste. Let's see if safe works on Meteo. Did I really use defend just now? Okay, let's make sure I don't mess this up again, please. Are we serious? And this is why we have this here, so I can just have cures on all fronts. Okay, a little sloppy. A little sloppy. That is kind of a really off-putting sprite. Alright, well, we know what to do for this. Just let it all play out. That's brutal. Boom. All right, there we go. Almost survived against a mandatory loss longer than I did against that two-headed dragon. All right. right. God, this makes me so nervous about everything. Now, this is going to seem like signing a death sentence, but we're going to try this. We can't warp out of here. Alright, wait, who has... Lord have mercy. My allergies are hitting me with a vengeance right now. Jesus. Yep, we cannot exit either. Lord. Good thing I'm finished right now. Because Jesus Christ. Alright. I'll talk to you later, guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.